It was on The Big Bang Theory. He was saying there's an actual scientist. If you put the cat in the box and come back in 30 years, is the cat dead or alive? It's an actual thing.
Well, I would say definitely dead.
Yeah, I mean,
until you open that
what's it
box.
eating? Cardboard?
No, but I know what you're
Open the
saying.
box.
Like, if you know, when you find out, then you know you haven't won.
Yeah.
But in this,
So at the
in this
moment,
middle
I'm in
ground,
this bubble going,
Yeah.
oh, this could be me.
I just had a drink of my tea and it's too hot and burnt my mouth, and I feel like a bit parched. I need to drink some more water. Not yours, but like.
Do you know what I will say? Funny
Yeah.
enough, you say about not wearing clothes twice, but you've done that same thing twice. Remember when you had the lemon tea?
Oh yeah, I
Seems
do
to
do
be-
things twice.
It's becoming
a
a
lot,
common occurrence, burning your mouth in here.
yeah.
I mean,
'Cause I
you
can't-
can't really call it common.
I can't get it
twice.
right. I can't get the right cold water, hot water situation. So you have to wait for it to cool down. By the time it's done that, it's cold.
I mean, I suppose what would you rather have?
Why don't you just put a little cold water in there? When you put the
I did, but I can't get the quantities right.
All right, if I ask you a question, not iced tea,
Yeah.
but if you had to choose between drinking a boiling hot coffee and a freezing cold cup of tea, what would it be?
A freezing cold cup of tea. I would never have a boiling cup of
Yeah, I
coffee.
mean, a freezing cold cup of tea is not going to put you in pain, is it?
I'll make it like I'll pretend it was an iced tea. You know what I mean? 100%.
Iced tea.
Like an iced tea.
Iced tea is perfect, mate.
What's wrong with an iced tea?
Beautiful.
Nothing's wrong with an iced tea.
No
mate.
judging.
No judging.
No tea shaming.
What flavour tea is it?
I think it's ginger. Ginger lemon, maybe?
You couldn't have just
Nice.
gone with normal British tea.
No, because I don't want the milk.
Yeah, health benefits.
No, well, sort of, but no, I don't want to. I've got like a show like soon, so I have to cut out dairy.
A show?
Yeah,
What are you going on stage in?
yeah. I've been full on. I've been doing loads of stuff. I need to get back to some people because they're asking me to do some shows, but I don't want to do them. Sorry.
Oh, wow. It's a no. It's no.
It's not a no.
So what you done this week then?
What have I done? I was in Ireland.
Oh.
Yeah, I was seeing the God Kids for their communion. I've never been to one before. And the kids just got loaded.
Pretty much.
Like €600 each. Twins, 8 years old, loaded. Imagine you're 8 and you get like €600. Like,
Yeah, see, I never had a communion because my mum's Catholic from Ireland. My
Yeah.
dad's Protestant. It wasn't.
ah,
So that's why I've never been christened.
have you not?
No.
Callan, you christened?
No, I'm not.
Yep.
Mum's Catholic.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not christened.
Yeah, we had this discussion actually. I got a phone call. We had this discussion about that. Actually, is that phone call that's going on right now is my doctor because I've had to go for an MRI.
All right. Why?
I hurt my hip running.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a little sore, so I
Yeah.
had to go. And then I fell asleep. I went in there, I went into the tunnel, and this Asian guy put me in. He's an absolutely lovely guy. And then I fell asleep, and when I came out, this black woman was there. I was like, how long was I in there? Like, how are you changing people? That is discomfort, because I feel like I've just woken up in a different universe. But then I saw how sassy Kalan was today, so I was like, man, no, baby.
Yeah, I don't like it when people speak bad about my football team. Rivalry to my big game.
Oh, could you guarantee him if you were in the pub with him, right?
Yeah.
He would be, and if you say, like, this is why I asked, because my son supports Liverpool,
Okay.
and obviously it was Tottenham-Liverpool game, and obviously
Yeah, 1-0.
I thought, shall I test this? And obviously he said it was, what did you say, it was 1-1, didn't you?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
1-1. Yeah,
Yeah,
we should have won that. To be fair,
great
we
by
needed
Spurs.
to win that.
Yeah,
But
you
would a
did.
Liverpool fan said that they won it, or should have won it?
Yes.
No, I mean our tactics. We had the biggest clear chances. They didn't have any clear chances. Their goal was a massive deflection, which obviously the only goal that he scored.
Oh my
So-
God, look at Scott talking about football.
Yeah,
I
he
told
loves
you,
it.
I'm
He
in a
gets-
different universe. I've woken up somewhere else.
I
That's
mean, I
weird.
see that you went to watch Doctor Strange.
I
Speaking
did
about
when
different
I did go and
universe,
see it. I took my
I went to watch
nephew.
it last night. What do
Oh.
you reckon of it? It was
He doesn't like it.
I bigged it up way too much in my mind, the bloody trailers.
big time. Me too. I mean,
so
it was.
annoyed.
Don't get me wrong. It was a good watch, and I would watch it again.
Ugh.
But it was disappointing.
So disappointing.
Oh, so it didn't really do much for your mental health then, did it, boys?
No, because I said to my nephew, because not to ruin it for him, I said, "What do you think?" And he said, "I really liked it." So I was like, "Cool, I'm not going to say anything," because it's not fair to be like, "Oh, well, that was rubbish," and they're like, "What? I liked it." I'm like, "Oh, Sorry.
Oh, boring.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Mm.
I'm sorry. Maybe I just missed something. I don't know. The storyline is meh.
Yeah, it kind of just went, I don't know, just down a different route than I was completely expecting.
They were trying to make it horror, but and no spoiler alerts. But like, if you watch a WandaVision, then you would understand. But
I didn't like WandaVision.
I loved it.
thought it was amazing.
Yeah, amazing.
It was
The
so
first
good.
episode was
No,
a little bit.
Yeah, but you needed it.
Yeah, but then you're like, okay, this is what they're. All right, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I
it does
it
get
now.
better then, because I was pretty switched off on the first episode. I was like,
yes.
oh my god,
Oh
what is this crap?
yeah. No, it's incredible. It's incredible. It's the best thing they've done, and I've just finished Moon Knight as well.
Yeah,
and that was good.
I'm on episode 4 of that.
Yeah.
I was smashing out Snowfall.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, episode 4 in Moon Knight in a minute, but I do like it.
Oh my god, I just started watching is it Staircase?
Was
Never
that
heard of that.
Is that on Netflix?
No, it's on Sky Atlantic. It's got Toni Collette and Sophie Turner, who's Sansa in Game of Thrones and married to one of the Jonas brothers. But it's a podcast that I heard it first on the podcast, and it's about a guy whose wife fell down the stairs, and she hit her head. But what it looks like doesn't look like she fell down the stairs. But there's this scene. I mean, Toni Collette probably is my favorite actress of all freaking time. I don't think she's been in a bad film, but there's a part where they sort of reenact how she fell down the stairs, and I don't know if it's real or because no one really knows. I think maybe the best bloody horrible acting I've ever seen in my entire life. Like literally, I had to pause and be like,
Oh, that's not good.
"Oh my god!" If I can find it for you, I'm gonna have to show you. It's incredible, like incredible acting. So yeah, I'm watching right now. I think that's out. The last episode's at the weekend, so 4 episodes, but a really good watch.
Yeah, see, you put up on your story. Did you finish Ozark?
No, I haven't.
Don't
finished.
spoil it.
No, I
I've
haven't
got
finished.
one more
Yeah, I've
episode
got
of
one
season
more.
4.
Oh,
really?
you're
That's
way.
how-
I just finished it.
Oh yeah.
That was
Don't-
not good for the mental health. I tell you that.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to.
That's
watching
no
it.
spoilers.
I'm gonna-
It could be.
Well, do you know what? Ozark is not good for the mental health anyway.
Well, it definitely
No.
wasn't making presents at the end of it, was it?
No, I
It's
mean,
not good for your
put
mental
it this way. That's a lot of hours of my life I'll never get back.
Oh, you're not happy about the end?
No, just the whole series in general.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
I
I
think
think
it was
it's
a-
massively blown up. Like people say, "Oh, it's so good." But
It's slow.
It's I see it. Someone summarised it on Twitter. It's the most exciting, boring watch
It's slow.
in TV history.
It's slow. I will say
it's
that.
kept me all the way
You
through.
you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've
It's
It's
enjoyed
good acting. I like how they've got the decontrasted colours, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But looking at it from certain ones, like I say, Snowfall's just every episode, bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, I've not watched any Snowfall. I have to
I
do
will.
that.
That's
So, yeah.
good. Snowfall's wicked.
Okay, cool. Well, there you go.
Enjoy
That's,
it. But
that's
yeah, anyway, just
Everyone
that
all
was
good?
enjoyable. But everyone all right?
I think so. I think I do you know what? I felt weirdly, even though I was surrounded by so many people. Someone else said this to me as well yesterday. I felt lonely in a crowded room. Yeah.
What made you feel like that?
I don't know. And someone else literally said exactly the same. And then when I said, yeah, no, I feel the same, they're like, what? And I swear, like, when you ever think that anyone is okay, and you're like, they're fine. They're the ones that are not normally. And so, yeah, it was weird. I was just like, oh, okay. And I think because the weekend was so hyped up and, you know, with the kids and their party and everything like that, and hanging out with my friend, and it was really, really nice. And then that's whole thing of just having to go, and I'll show you the video, right, of the, like, they didn't want me to leave. And you're like,
That's hard.
I was like, wait, like, I'll be back. And they're like, when though? I was like, August. I was like, that is so far away. And the kid's like, that's like 92 days away. I was like, he's really
I'll
smart.
be back, I promise.
And he was like, what? You know, so yeah, it was tough. It was tough. And I try my best not to just spoil kids with presents. I
So
spoil them
that's
with,
exactly what you did then.
no, I spoil them with my time. I make effort and energy and
Oh, that's nice.
you know, we
Mm.
play games, we do stuff, or you know what I mean? Like we have a laugh, and they were like, oh, can you read us a story? I was like, yeah. And they're like, can you make one up? I was like, yeah. And then I made like little story, like it made no sense, but it was just kind of nice to do that. And my friend, I came back downstairs, and my friend just looked like a little relieved. And you know, she's been in different relationships, and she's not with the father anymore, though he is part of their life still. And she was like, not only do they just love you, and so do I, but at the same time, you just put in so much effort. And don't get me wrong, they're little shits. Of course they are.
Yeah,
Because
they're
they're
kids.
they're
Yeah.
kids, right? But I was just like, that's cool. I still tell them off. no. One more of that upstairs. Come on, no. Fine. But actually, in the end, like kids actually need like loving discipline.
Yes.
They need to know where they
Yeah.
stand. If you give them a free for all and give them to do anything they want to do, they do not respect you at all.
No.
You know,
No.
I don't want to say they hate me, but if they go to that lengths of doing stuff, blah blah blah, and they have to be told off by their mum or whatever.
But you can punish them in the way, by the sounds of what you're doing, by withholding the love for that.
Yeah, I just hold it back. I'll be like, right, well, okay, we're not going to do that.
Yeah,
then.
and obviously they're thriving off the love, right?
Mm. Yeah, it's just being on the beach and just digging holes and doing piggyback races with mum, who would never do that, but she did it anyway because she knew that they really wanted to do that. And I like it when you get out your safety zone, like with anyone, with any people, and you do stuff because someone else would say, I would really like you to do that. And I've always said this, like, if you do something when you don't really want to do anything, like, but the person you're with or hanging out with is so invested in it and they love it so much, just shut up and just do it. If they want to talk about Pokemon for an hour, let them do it. Just let them do it. Don't be like, oh, I don't get it. I hate this. See how energized they are about that thing. Because it won't be just that one thing. It's amazing. It's amazing. So I feel like it was like highs and lows, but it's fine. I'm now back to real life and just back to work and all over the place as always.
Very nice.
Yeah.
All right, Scott. Without going into the
He
deep
sounds
darks
well into
of your week.
Well,
Everything all right
is that
today?
deep
Feeling
darks?
better?
Everything's all right. I've had
No, shut the fuck up. Sorry, excuse my language. You had your counselling. What else are we talking about right now? How did it go?
It was interesting.
Okay, it was number one. So
Yep. I now know what the next 16 or 18 it is to do. It's surprising how your brain protects you in a certain way. And obviously with PTSD, I didn't realise until we kind of started doing certain exercises and stuff like that, it opened up stuff that I didn't remember. And obviously the brain had obviously protected you. The brain's quite clever. It's protected you from specific traumas and blanked it out. And it was only when we started doing certain exercises it was like, ooh. And if looking back on it over this week, obviously I've spoken to Kalan a little bit about it. It's quite dark. It's something that needs to be. I feel like it's, as you know, you can't change it. Obviously, it's done. The trauma's done. You can either, like now, I'm kind of. If you'd said to me 2 years ago, I would have probably destroyed me. But now, looking back at how the life's changed, how you've moved forward with everything, it's good that I know now. And obviously, the way I put it is like put it into the filing system in the right place. It's happened. You've mostly gone through it or going through it. So obviously then process it properly.
Well, the first one of the new techniques was always going to be the hardest, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because you went in there with your opinions of what was going to happen, and you come out knowing what it's going to be like for the next one now.
Yeah.
Of course, they might uncover some different things, but the whole synopsis of it, you're going to understand, so you're not going to go in there with the fear like you had before and the anxiety.
Yeah, I was a bit anxiety. Obviously, I was here with Kalan in the morning. And obviously, I think it was like 2 or 3 days before I was a bit on edge.
Yeah, it was weighing on your mind massively, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then obviously, yesterday I had a bit of a wobble yesterday. Like my daughter and bits and pieces. Yesterday was a bit difficult for me yesterday. Obviously, it took me till this morning to kind of like do my little routines, a bit of exercise, talking. After I've used like strategy games to like distract the mind. You know what you say? You keep busy. So I've done certain things. Oh, I'm all right. I know I've got to go through it again. But it's putting myself back together. It's easier to say, oh yeah, it's great in bits and pieces. But if I'm brutally honest, it was an eye opener. I've been desperate for this for the last 2.5 years, and I've done all sorts to get myself to where I am now to do it. I wouldn't change it, but it was scary. It was emotional. It was loads of different feelings, and it has. I could see why they're trying to leave it for like to settle you down. So obviously, if you keep hitting the emotions while you're high, I've got to kind of like bring myself back down before we do the next one, and that's what the key parts are. Like, we have a bowl of ice water, and obviously what I do when I have flashbacks and bits and pieces, like I'm at home and or wake up in the middle of the night, I'll go and put cold water on my face and then go and get in the shower. It's kind of like what we've done is like grounding yourself. So obviously we have stuff that when obviously we're going through the exercises of the mental health, like the problems, the trauma. So it's like a time chart, and you kind of get taken into what can you see, what can you smell. And it's like trying to get your brain to process it correctly. And obviously it took me to something that I didn't even, what I thought had happened, my brain had made up to protect me and cancelled it out kind of thing. So it was only when we started doing these exercises did it kind of like, oh. And like she's like, look, I think we need to stop here. We was trying to do something else, but the brain's like, okay, you're now ready to actually go through that trauma and put it in the right place. And obviously it's not.
Well, fair play to you for getting it done, and good luck to you for the rest of it. I'm sure you'll come out the other side feeling much better.
That's really funny because it's comparable with what we were just talking about. And you haven't watched it yet, but with the Moon Knight and the storyline for that, it's very comparable. That he puts himself, his brain is protecting him, and he invents new characters. And his, so he has a character that doesn't know the worst bits of what's happened in his life.
Yeah, so obviously what I realised is what I've been through certain things in a lifetime is your brain protects you, and obviously I completely forgot, but it's all like looking back now, the person I kind of am now, because I've kind of processing it, I had to be a certain person because it was my brain's way of protecting me. You have to be this big strong man and go out and fight and fuck you and I'll fight anyway. It was your way of protecting yourself, and it's not till you realise it was like, oh, in my life, if I just, in one way your brain's clever, it's protected me, but in another way, if it let me go through it, perhaps I would have been a different personality or a different kind of person.
Yeah, well, you'd never become the person you are today without going through the stuff.
Well, that's kind of what I'm trying to say, because obviously one of the topics, that's obviously I want to link that together.
And let's go on to the
Hot topics.
Beautiful. Right, some really interesting ones this week. It's Mental Health Awareness Week. Coincidentally, there have been plenty of stories that we could easily speak about. Ashley Cole, Deborah James, bless her, and Prince William at the Manchester bombing's 5th anniversary. But we're going to start with NHS support in schools. More than 2.4 million children and young people have now got access to mental health support in schools and colleges. A record 650,000 children and young people were in contact with mental health NHS services over the last year, compared to 534,000 before the COVID pandemic. There's now NHS support in almost 4,700 schools with 287 expert teams. By summer 2023, there'll be over 500 teams. By providing youth with mental health support, do you think this will help reduce the mental health issues in the future when they become adults because they have past experience of dealing with it?
Going with my experience going through mental health, with the right help, it's having the right help at the right time. Because obviously you get it, like you said, there's a lot of kids there, right? And there's only X amount of that the NHS could do therapist wise. But obviously, going through my journey, now I'm stronger. Obviously, your mental health never goes away. And I think if you've got mental health at a young age, you're going to possibly still suffer with it, but you'll have the tools to deal with certain situations, so you're a little bit more stronger. Whereas I was scraping with water as a kid, you know, as an adult, like, no, have it back. Do you know what I mean? You're that little bit stronger.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good thing. And possibly, I would say I'm on the line that it could help and stop them because they've dealt with their issues younger. And as an adult, they're a stronger person. Or as an adult, that they've got the tools to deal with what needs to be done.
Yeah, that's what I would say. I guess with anything, like take you for example, going to your counselling. So just change the camera angle. Going to your counselling, you had the fear there, but now you won't have the fear as much because you've got the experience of being in there.
Yeah.
of course, in the future they'll be put under tribulations and go through adversity which they wouldn't have experienced before. But they might be able to use some of the experience that they've had dealing with those issues to help them get through troubled times in the future.
But I also think with like, if you look at it like cancer people, their mental health gets affected. There's trauma, you know, you've been through an injury or a car crash. Everything, if you look at it, life itself, no matter what you do, don't do, a bit like yourself, that would have affected your mental health having to leave them kids, right?
Yeah.
Not that you couldn't bring yourself back up,
No.
but obviously what I'm trying to say is I think therapists should be used like you have your car, an MOT, to keep you learning, developing your brain. Because the more I understand of why I'm doing this, why am I, like sometimes I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm having a heart attack. No, that's the first stages of you're going to have a panic attack. So then, okay, do what you distract your brain, blah, 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 ground yourself, do all the different techniques. Okay, still not quite taking it off. I'll go to the gym. So I've learned lots of different techniques, and I think kids should be learning this. The world now, with social media, all the different bits and pieces, we didn't have that as kids. And I think that's why the mental health thing for kids now is so much more, because you're connected so much more. You're not in your just little village with a couple of your mates and you're going out on your bikes. You're connected all day, every day to everything that's going on in the world. And I think you should use it as an MOT, or schools should have some sort of, and it's not only that, you can tell your inner secrets, you know, because obviously when I've gone through it, I'm like, am I making this up? Is this in my head? And it's not till they break it down, no, you're not any different to somebody else that's gone through traumatic PTSD. So that's normal. They're like, you have to kind of reconfirm, like, you walk out there going, oh, so I am normal. I'm not crazy. Yeah. I'm not stupid. I haven't made it up. It's part of anybody that's kind of in your category of mental health, if you understand. I mean, the symptoms are the same. There's certain telltale signs, and that's how they know. Like I've asked a question, but you sure didn't? No. No, Scott, you haven't. But are you listen, you've had 4 experts, 4 different counsellors tell you the same thing. What, we all went to the same school and misdiagnosed you? Okay. So then it's kind of, it's the mental health that makes you think slightly different from everybody else. But then if you can have the tools, like I've always said, it's the tools, the experience, people around you, and if it can become, because there's still a stigma about it now and there.
I worry
kids will change that. The next generations will change that.
I worry that one of the main things now is no one likes to be wrong and no one likes to fail.
I was having this discussion literally last night.
And for that reason alone, you're going to be in trouble for the rest of your life. There has to be these edges. And I do you know, my ex from ages ago works at university, and he was just like, we have to bring counselors in now to give these people thicker skins.
Yes.
Because this world is shit. This world is wonderful. This world is just in the middle. It's all these other things. And the problem is that whatever we do, anything we do nothing, not great. We do loads, Pandora's box, not great. There has to be this middle ground. There has to be this place that majority of people live, because in the end, the only people we ever treat are the people who are shouting the loudest. That's always, we do not treat anyone in the middle who's quiet. Like I just said, my friend was just saying, he was just in that, and you know, most of these people won't say anything, but if everyone said anything, you wouldn't be able to hear any voices.
No, but also, right, you're bang on what you're saying. But I think now the generations that are coming through are a lot smarter than we are. Okay, it's gone a bit too far with the amount of different sexes there. You can't do right but do wrong.
Yeah,
so but if you have an opinion, you're wrong. But if you don't have an opinion, you're wrong. And you're right.
The main thing is like same as music, same as talking about sexuality. It's not for you. No. You're gone. You're the generation that should be, like, if we didn't have any medical care, we would all be dead anyway. You know what I mean? Because we're only supposed to live to 40. So, you know, we need that progressive weird thing that happens, and then it goes, no, that doesn't work. Yes, it does work. No, that doesn't work. Yes, it does work. So last week, first time I've even gone out. I've got my podcast that will help. I went out and went to a Cubs Scout group.
Okay.
In Pangbourne.
First time. That was last Wednesday, wasn't it? After, yeah. How did it get on?
Do you know what? It's so funny because they asked me to go because I think they thought I was going to be talking about being an X Factor and and fame and all that stuff and hard work and stuff. And I was like, yeah. But I had written, for the last 3 years, I've written 18 talks. I've written and recorded 52 weeks worth of Little Help stuff. So when I went there and I did this talk with them, and it was interactive. They're on their feet, they're doing stuff, blah, blah, blah. And there were parents there, there were people working there, the kids were there, it was probably like 25 kids, 8 till maybe 11, and then there was 2 older kids that were sort of there helping out as well. And they were all involved and engaged in completely individual, weird ways I couldn't even fathom.
Because you relate to each one of them. There's something that I've been through will relate to a certain viewer. There's stuff that you've been through. So, like, you could be, how do I put this in the politest way? Your mental health could be really bad because some of the stuff, like you said, you don't look at Twitter. You don't.
Yeah.
That's because you've learned. Someone's, you know what I mean? If you didn't do that and all of a sudden become famous tomorrow and no one had given you that advice, and you read all of the, how bad would your mental health actually be? But obviously the tools you'll be given.
Yeah. But I'm also like, I do see a lot of people, and I hear it on podcasts. Go listen to those, and I hear it so many times, and I hear every single time they're like, "Oh, I felt really bad because I read that comment about myself." I was like, "Oh, okay."
I genuinely now, I think, if I come famous, I meant as in, if I had that, I'd be like, I really couldn't give a fuck.
People want to tell you. People want to tell you.
But
It's so funny.
going to get.
They were like, "Oh, you know, they didn't know what top you were wearing." Like, who cares?
But that's the generation we're in now. If you understand, everyone's got an opinion.
No, everyone's got a fake voice. It's not really
Well,
real. Go on, carry
just
on.
as you spoke then about if you were to become famous, ties us into our next topic.
You're famous.
Scott's won the Euro Millions.
Yay! I said one person.
184 million. Well, he doesn't know yet because he hasn't checked his ticket.
Oh.
So
But does anybody actually know if the person's actually claimed it yet? Because at the moment,
I would say. I don't know when you're going to, in a sense of where you bought your ticket. You go and buy it. I do it online, so.
yeah, no, I bought it.
Oh, yeah. You would have to go and check your ticket. Just check your ticket.
Yeah, but at the moment, it's like, oh, what is it? Shouldn't, no, I want to say, there's the cat thing. You know,
Have
the
you
cat's
seen-
in the box. What's
Yeah.
that called?
What,
It was on The Big Bang Theory. He was saying there's an actual scientist. If you put the cat in the box and come back in 30 years, is the cat dead or alive? It's an actual thing.
Well, I would say definitely dead.
yeah, I mean,
Until you open that
what's it
box.
eating? Cardboard.
No, but I know what you're
Open the
saying.
box.
Like, if you know, when you find out, then you know you haven't won.
Yeah.
But in this,
So at the
in this
moment,
middle
I'm in
ground,
this bubble going,
Yeah.
oh, this could be me. And it's not
Have
till
you
you
seen-
go check the ticket.
Have you seen the numbers? They are mental.
Yeah,
Yeah,
There
yeah.
were no
Like
way.
27, 28, 29, wasn't it?
I was like, no way. That you would have to. It's got to be a lucky dip. No one chooses those numbers.
See,
No.
I did lucky dip.
Yeah, me too.
And 25 as well, I think.
Yeah, I think it was crazy. I did get a ticket as well. But, you know, you
Right,
have
sorry.
to.
So, yeah,
So
I've
yeah,
won.
I mean, we could all be getting a massive pay rise, and this podcast could be finally getting sponsored if Scott wins Euro Millions.
I guarantee if Scott won 184 million, we wouldn't see him again.
Episode 16 will be in the Maldives when
People are like, I'm not working with
Sat
you or
sat on
you.
the beach. We're doing a
we get
podcast.
Scott on the Zoom.
Right, fellas? Pina colada.
Why it's raining in Reading?
Right, yeah. So as we just touched on, the jackpot was 184 million, and that makes that lucky person the biggest winner in the UK, overtaking 170 million pound win in 2019. The winner is catapulted to the top of the Euro Millions past winners. Something like that will most definitely ease a lot of woes, but will that sort of money guarantee happiness for the rest of his life?
So, there's a funny thing about happiness, and I'm going to have to write it down because I did write it down, but I'm going to have to find it in a second. But money is a funny thing. I know some people that have won a lot of money. Obviously, I work for the lottery, so I see that happen a lot. But if you start, you might be happy, but I know some people who's given other people money and they split up relationships.
What?
Because they didn't need the other person. A lot of times when you're together with someone, it's because you're fighting through and you've got the house together and you couldn't do every without the other one and stuff like that. And as soon as you go, well, here's $500,000, like that. See ya. Bloody don't like you anymore. How annoying are you? And they've
Bloody
split up
hell.
relationship. And it's so
That's
funny. You know,
cold-hearted.
of course. But if you were in that relationship only in the sense that actually you were doing it to survive and you couldn't do it by yourself, but the person you're with is not great, if you win money, you're like, bye.
That's a fair comment. I think looking back at certain things in my life, I think I would have been like here. But right, if I've won the lottery right now, here's what I would do with it. If I've won that 184, so all my brothers and my sisters, I'd buy a house.
I'd buy the Berkshire Channel.
But yeah, I'd buy the Berkshire Channel. Thanks, all. It's now sold as seen. I would literally buy all my brothers and sisters a house, so they had no mortgage to worry about. I would then
the same price, the same amount of money to every single person,
wherever they wanted a house, within reason. Obviously, it's capped at not over £1 million.
What about if somebody wanted a house in Newcastle, or somebody wanted a house by Hyde Park?
That would be my dad. That would be my dad.
If someone wanted a house in Hyde Park. Do you know what? The reason I mentioned Hyde Park is because, you know, when I was going through, all right, the person who's won that is now worth more than Ed Sheeran, Anthony Joshua, blah, blah, blah. And they said what you could buy with it. And it was like you could buy 61 6-bedroom houses by Hyde Park. It's like £184 million. 184 million pound, and you want to buy 61 houses in Hyde Park.
Well, I think I'm
like,
saying,
wow, that just goes to show you how massively priced London is, doesn't it?
hugely. But right now, obviously, all my brothers and sisters have got their own houses, so and they're either renting.
You paying their council tax?
They're renting them, or they
When does it
got a
stop?
mortgage. So I'd buy it outright. There you go, done. I'd then set up for all my nephews, all my nieces, all of my my kids, a trust fund. Boom, boom, and I'd put $1 million each one. That would cost me 15 million. Boom,
Are you
that's them
taking
set.
away the struggles of life for those people, though?
Yes and no, but they can't get it. So I want to
Until
do
they're
what?
30.
No,
Yeah.
what I would like to do is obviously it pays for so they don't end up having a debt if they want to go to college or university. They're allowed to use that money to obviously fund themselves education wise. Obviously, I'm going to put like stipulations.
Have you ever seen a kid with a student loan?
Yeah, I used to do door work. So yeah, Freshers Week was great.
They
They
are
blow it
gone.
all. The first free money.
Oh, mate, trust me, I absolutely rinse my students.
I was going to say, me too.
Yeah, but you didn't spend it on your education, though, right?
No.
No, I mean, obviously, your student loan, so you get your grant, which you use to live with, and then your tuition fees just get paid directly to the uni, like, you don't get touched.
Yeah.
If you had to, how many people would be like, oh, I can't pay for next term? Because they would have spent it, right?
It's a lot of them. Obviously, I used to, when I worked the doors, I used to see it quite regularly. I'd be like, I ain't seen you for 3 months. Yeah, I blew all my student loan.
They'll be working
the
in
first
Costa.
2 weeks, and boof, they're all like living like the weekend millionaire and gone. But no, I'd set up with the kids. So obviously, what I'd want to do, part of their trust funds and bits and pieces, is
You've got
if
this
they
all
got a
planned
job.
out.
Yeah, no, I thought about this quite logically. So obviously, because it's been building up the euros, what would I do with it? What would I do with it? And I would. So if you were earning 15 grand. I would give, at the trust fund, you could take 15 grand a year.
So you have to earn it.
So you have to earn it. You're not just giving it,
Yeah,
unless
okay.
it's for
I like that.
education.
Yeah.
For education, they
Yeah.
can use it for education. If you like food, bits and pieces like that, your rents, all that. But the moment you get a job, if you want to go and get a job for 100 grand, then you can take 100 grand a year out of it. But if you get a job for 5 grand, then you can only get 5 grand. It's down to you. So I'm not just going to give them and make their life completely easy.
Yeah, that's
But I'm going to give them that little stepping stone. There's an opportunity. There's a load of money there. If you want it, you got to work for it. And then you also, not only that, you appreciate it
Yeah, big
a
time.
little bit more. Yes, it is a little bit more than other kids are getting.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's not just been going, here's the silver spoon.
That's a good way of balancing between the two, isn't
Well,
it?
I don't know if it'll 100% be right in the sense of they don't end up a bit.
I know that
spoiled.
all of my friends went to private school. I know that none of my friends are sending their kids to private school because they can't afford it. The thing of wealth, it just runs out.
Yeah.
It only lasts 2.5
But I would
generations. and it's
change
gone.
or try to change without splitting couples up. Try to change all of my family's life for better. Like one of the things that I would definitely
Would
do.
you be upset if you couldn't, though?
No, I think with 184 million, I definitely could have.
No, so that's naive. Thinking that money can fix it because
No.
it doesn't.
But it doesn't fix it. But one thing that I would do, and this is what it would change everyone's life. The one thing that it would do is I'm on Ancestry DNA, and obviously there's cousins, bits and pieces. None of my family, well, there's thousands of us, from the Irish to the Americans to the English, all that. What I would do is pay for all the planes, all your tickets, all the hotels, everything, so we could all have one huge, maybe only for one weekend in a
Have you
lifetime.
been to a wedding?
Yeah, why not?
They were all.
But if I've got not being funny, if I've got 184 million, why not? Even if it cost me 80 million. To pull it off.
Sometimes we don't like each other in this room. There's only 3 of us.
Yeah, but
bringing everyone together, families together. No way.
Why not? But listen. So obviously on Ancestry DNA recently, when my nan died, I was with my cousins and bits and pieces.
This is a documentary I'm freaking making. If you do this, you're a winner. I'm filming it.
That would be
it's brilliant.
crazy.
So we found out that one of my granddad's brothers had a secret family through Ancestry DNA because she stepped forward. It was only the DNA that linked, and then obviously realised they all lived in Reading. He had one family there and a different family there. Yeah.
I found the quote, and it's
That'd be
actually from a
mental.
rapper called the Pitbull. You know Pitbull, the rapper.
Yeah.
I saw this on Twitter or Instagram, whatever, earlier, and it literally says, money doesn't buy happiness. It does, if you give it away though.
That's what I mean.
So he's kind of
I
right.
would blow 80 million on getting
sure.
all my family together. Book like X amount of hotels, big room. Well, I think.
I'm going to just quickly say, I would first get you a financial advisor.
No, listen.
I'm a little bit worried.
Yeah,
I've
you
been doing
do
the
need
calculation
one.
here. I'm like,
You've blown all your money
Oh my
by the end of the week.
oh my goodness.
I can
God.
actually die
Hold
happy
down.
and say, right, I've set up my kids, I've set up my nephews and nieces, I've helped my
Fair
brothers,
play.
I've got all my family together, mate. But I'm telling you, obviously the Irish side of the family, there's stories that have been passed down. Like even at my mum and dad's wedding, my granddad's brothers, all the Irish, like all having scrapped like kids on the floor. And it was, me and my dad was only talking about this yesterday in the pub. And he was like, yeah, he said, I remember that. He said, like, my dad asked, he's like, is that normal? Oh, yeah, the paddies, they're always scrapping. But most of my birthdays, bits and pieces, weddings, there's always a drama, right?
Yeah.
And I think, one, that would be 80 million for my mental health to go, yep, I pulled this together. How are you going to stop?
Mate, I could.
think
Thousands and thousands.
What you need to do, Scott, is you need to, it's inevitable. There's going to be a fight, right? So you need to put 2 million for the winner.
I'm going to put a boxing ring in.
for the
Listen,
winner.
I'm going to put a boxing ring in. Anyone got any problem? Not met one? You didn't know that was your sister, long lost sister, was it? Well, just have a go and have a let out there. The drinks are all free once you finish that. And most of the Irish is
The drinks
literally.
are free. This is getting crazy.
Oh, mate, listen.
The drinks,
food,
the drugs
There's
are
like
free.
four-
There's hookers out the back.
There's
Go
like
and have
4
fun.
Four
Why
million
not?
people there, and all the drinks are free.
I would go down. I would go down in history. One of the news, it would be all over the news. But obviously, within my family around the world,
What if someone
I
dies?
would go
That's
down.
not going to go down well. There's too many people.
who organised it? Scott Allen. I would go down in history of
See,
my
he
family.
wants
He
to
wants to be the new
generations.
Project X,
He wants to
doesn't
be
he?
famous, man. Little bloody Elon there over here.
I'd go down with history. Generations after would talk about this party.
I'm not even going to answer the question. He's answered it for me.
Well,
It's
I mean,
fine.
you've
I'm
got.
done.
Yeah, you've
It's
got.
fine.
You've actually
I'm gonna
got
give it
something
to
called Project
charity.
X. There, have you heard about that? That Australian.
No.
Australian. Real story. Really good film. You should watch it. His parents go away, throws the maddest party. I mean, there was news, helicopters everywhere reporting to him. And this journalist was speaking to him at like 8 a.m, and he just sat there, the pair of glasses, top off, everything. He's like, do you not feel bad for like the damage you caused? I said, no, it's a great party. Just sat there, obviously been on whatever.
Legend.
You should watch that. But that's what obviously you want to be. You want to
No,
be.
he's
in the-
paying for it,
I'll
and
pay
in
for it.
someone else. That's some kid messing up his family's house. the
No,
entitled
any
prick.
damages. Any damages that, as long as you can prove that they're blood related to me, I will pay the damages. But
right.
no, I think
well,
it would be brilliant.
yeah, I mean that escalated, didn't it, a little bit?
That's
so
what I would spend it on.
yeah,
and yes, it would help
He
my mental
spent
health because I'm
every
helping
bit
other
of
people's
money.
mental health.
Every
Yeah,
bit
blow
of
it all.
money.
fair play. But yeah, just to finish, money is junk happiness.
Yes.
100%.
Something which I've been reading in a book.
Mhm.
Money comes from happiness comes from triangle contentment, alignment, and control. So
Dun,
yeah.
dun, dun.
4 things to think about. Words of wisdom will finish on. I've got a nice one here
Oh,
from Tiger Woods, who we've mentioned on this podcast previously. People don't understand that when I was growing up, I was never the most talented and I was not the biggest. I was never the fastest. I was certainly never the strongest. The only thing I had was my work ethic, and that's what's gotten me this far.
I say 100%. That is completely utterly true. Anyone who has natural talent is always lazy. Always lazy. If you have to work for it, someone working harder next to you who doesn't have the natural talent will beat you every single time.
100%.
It's to your hunger for it, right?
Yeah, that's it. So there's been so many cases of footballers when they were in academy level, see the interviews and whatnot. Just off the top of my head, I can't think of players I'm thinking of, but they've been training with loads of players. I'm like, yeah, he was far better than me. And this so-called person would then go on to play in the Premier League for years and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, his natural ability was ridiculous, such a raw player, but didn't have the work ethic.
Look at Harry Kane, mate. Look at Harry Kane.
Yeah.
You know I mean, every single person said he was never good enough.
Including my dad, actually.
He was never good enough.
He'll love that. He'll love that. I'll never forget. I would always bring it to him about all the time. I think we were playing Asterisk Tripolis in the Europa League years back, and he came on. He was like, what is he doing coming on the pitch? I said, no, he'll end up being a good player. He went like 6 or 7 clubs on loan. Done terrible. Got a lucky break at Spurs, and then just went bang.
Sometimes it's who you
Timing.
know.
And timing.
And being in the right place at the right time, right?
Timing is a massive, massive thing.
So, yeah, move on. Scott, you start. What are you thinking of? Words of the wisdom this week.
Words of the wisdom this week. I would say for me, obviously I've had a bit of a difficult week, but it's all worth it, or it will be worth it in the end.
I thought it was going to be, is the cat dead or alive?
Isn't
Can that be the starter for this podcast, please, about the cat?
Yes, the cat is alive. No, it's not. I mean, if it is alive, Jesus Christ, someone's been sneaking food in that box, hasn't
That's
they?
an old cat as well, even if it's had a good life, you know what I mean? That's just one Harry Potter cat underneath the stairs.
I knew what I meant. He knew what he meant.
I know.
Obviously,
I got
people
you.
in the room knew what it meant. Mate.
Yeah.
You just. No, of course it's dead. Is it? How do you know until you open the box?
You went with Tiger Woods.
What about the smell?
I'm going with Jonah Hill. And what he has said is give someone regular sex, fast food, free entertainment, and they will throw their ambitions right out the door. The comfort zone is what is stopping you from living the life you truly want. So you make yourself too comfortable, you're a lazy prick. You
Big
need a
time.
little bit of hard, not things going your way, people saying no to you, people being upset with you, not getting that date, not getting that, good service when you go out for food. You need that stuff because otherwise you'd just be a bit lazy.
Yeah, you need to have the chip on your shoulder, don't you?
God,
And
you do.
that's why they say keep on your toes.
Keep on your toes.
There's always someone waiting to
You're
replace
getting
you.
quite good at this. Do you not think? I think. Obviously.
Yeah, I mean, there's always somebody waiting to replace you.
Are you patting yourself on the back there?
Looking at you because you're going to be in the Maldives.
I'll tell you what I'll do. If I've got 184 million, I'll put one of them robot things here so I can pretend to be it.
That's fine. That's cool.
Just do it through VR.
I would like to
You
see
won't
it.
have any money left, Scott.
I'd like to see
Oh, I
it.
plan on blowing it within 12 months. I want it all gone.
I want to see an alternative universe when this has happened. I'd like to see what would happen and where you would be, and if you actually are better off now or better off with the money. It'd be
I
really
can tell you
intriguing.
now, I'm better off without the money. 100%.
Well, yeah.
I've chased money and money and money and money since I've left. Well, even in school, I chased money. It was only probably in the last 2-3 years that I realised. Obviously, being out. Obviously, I was never at home. I never did any of it. I was always at work, chasing money, having these dreams, and it wasn't the money I was chasing because I thought money will make everything right. It was the buzz out of setting the businesses up, getting the kick out of it.
I love the
It
chase.
was the chase.
I
But
love
obviously,
the
I
chase.
sacrificed a lot, like my children, bits and pieces like that. I didn't. Lockdown in one way helped me, as in getting very close to my kids, understanding them, and obviously being there with them 24/7. But money isn't everything. The world tomorrow, whether you've got £1 in your pocket or tomorrow, you will hopefully wake up tomorrow morning.
Wow. Well, I think that's a great way to finish this podcast.
Awesome.
Episode 15 is a wrap.
Believe that. 15.
Episode 16, we're going to do a lucky dip. It's either going to be in New York, Maldives, or Barbados.
Or Reading.
Yeah,
Where do you wanna-
or Biz-Space Phil.
Where are you right now? You 184 million. Oh, I've got to go in and do that podcast.
Right, well, guys, cheers.
I keep Wildless Day free now. It's like in my diary, I keep it free.
Brilliant.
Pretty much. That's
Innit?
what we got on the board.
You know.
Right. Thank you very much, guys.
Cheers.
See you next time.
See you later.
Bye.